Hello and welcome to another video from the Silver Citizen. Remember, if you like what you see, hit that like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a video. The share button, get the word out. Alright, let's get into it. This video is about the Sevilla game between the under-19s in the UEFA Youth League. To be brutally honest with you, I thought the first half was quite boring. You know, it was a boring match in the first half. The second half it started to get better, but the first half was boring. You know, Sevilla if they had the ball, they'd probably do quite well until they got to the final third, and then they'd lose it. Same going the other way. The only saving light for City was Adidaya Mabuda and Carlos Borges. I thought the rest of our players were poor in that first half. I thought they did alright. They give the Sevilla fullbacks a torrid time. As for Sevilla, they had a young lad called Carlos Alvarez, and you can tell that he's probably grown up idolising and trying to base his performances on them. He's not as good, but you can tell by the way, you know, he's got his balance, uses his left foot, the way he kind of runs, everything. You can tell that he's grown up idolising Diego Maradona and Lionel Messi. He's not in their class. Don't get me wrong. But you can tell who his favourite players are by the way he plays. He was their best player. And some of the times, you know, he'd get the ball and his control was excellent. But there's a lot of his game that leaves a lot to be desired for if he's attempting to emulate any of them two. But he was their guiding light. And to be honest with you, the highlights of both teams in that first half, up until City equalised, were corners. Sevilla had a corner, City had a couple of corners. City's corners weren't really an highlight because they didn't do anything with it, they didn't really get it in the box. But Sevilla's corners were, and they ended up scoring from one of them. It was a boring half. It really was. I mean, the equaliser that City got, I think the defender did bad with that. It was a poor pass. It was aimed to go in at Adidaya Mabuda. It was a poor pass, and we got lucky that their defender gave a poor clearance, and basically it ended up just being a pass to Maboud. The City pass went nowhere near Maboud, and the Sevilla defender, who the ball went towards, sort of cushioned it and passed it into Maboud's path. He squared it to Nico Riley when a player's coming at him. Nico Riley just knocks it with the outside of his right foot to Borges, who's running in and slots it in for 1-1. I mean, the first half ended, and I looked at this scoreline and saw 5-1, and I thought, this could be a good game. And it bored me to tears. I was actually starting to doze off on the couch near the end of the first half. I didn't exactly doze off, but I could feel my eyes getting heavy because I was getting bored. The game was quite boring. Come out second half performance from City was a lot better. Sevilla I don't think their players really upped their game, so their performance was pretty much the same, but City upped their game, so City basically took charge. I thought we were both as bad as each other in the first half, and City upped their game in the second half, Sevilla didn't. Again, Maboud and Borges gave their fullbacks a torrid time, and I have no surprise that either of them wanted to get off the pitch. Trying to remember the goals. The second one was Maboud. I think Borges was more looking for a penalty, but I don't think it was. And Maboud ended up getting it some quick feet. Sold a couple of people with that they thought he was going to shoot, left them on their ass, pulled it onto his left foot and slotted it in. The third one was a quick break. I think it was Maboud that was coming down, played it into Borges, one touch into Dixon, and he ran on and knocked it in for 3. The fourth one, that Carlos Alvarez that I was talking about, done some trickery and ended up losing the ball. And unlike Maradona, unlike Messi, who might ask the referee for a free kick, but as soon as they realised it's not coming, would go to get that ball back. He didn't. He put his hands up for the ref for a free kick. Referee wasn't interested. Personally, I don't think it was a free kick. And then he just sort of stood there, doing nothing. Like his team down there, I think. But it was beautifully worked by City. Crossed to Maboud. Maboud crossed it across. And there's Borges slotting it into an empty net. 4-1. The fifth one was a delightful pass. Borges had to sort of like slow down in his run. I mean, he timed his run perfectly, but he had to slow down in it, otherwise the pass wouldn't have reached him. Then he slotted it under the goalkeeper who was out rushing. That was an injury time, and that was 5. They were the goals. Well taken, all of them. City were by far the better team in the second half, because like I said, they upped the game. It was a couple of wrong decisions, I'd say, from Sevilla that didn't help their team. Made me laugh with a few of them. They've got a fella up front called Sau. I think it's Ibrahim Sau. He's the only person that's not Spanish in their team. But one of the City defenders won the ball. And you get him, ah! And he's rolling around, and City are coming away, and he's there on the floor holding his leg. It's hilarious, because then a City player passes it, and a Sevilla player intercepts. Well, I have never seen anyone jump up so quickly and be perfectly fine. I'm okay now, come on. That kind of stuff should get you in this book. Speaking of books, I think there was about 9 yellow cards in this game and 1 red. And when you look at it that way, you're thinking to yourself, that's probably a dirty match. I don't think it was. I mean, the red was stupid. Because a couple of minutes before the red, Maboud had done a late challenge on the guy that scored Sevilla's goal, and kind of like, I don't think he meant to hit him. I think he meant to get a block on the ball, but he was a little late. It was a yellow card. But him in the gonads. And got a yellow card. About 60 seconds later, he put another Sevilla player on the floor. Now, I don't think that was a yellow card, probably a talking to. But the Sevilla player that went down, rather than use his head, rather than be intelligent about it, he ended up elbowing Maboud. As Maboud was walking past, bang! And elbowed him, straight red. Stupid. Brain dead. And at that time it was 3-1. I think there was about 12 minutes left in the game, so you get the next goal, you've got a chance. He just ruined it for his team with one stupid reaction. Another one that I found quite funny is one of their players got put through and he knocked it past Van Sass, and Van Sass is coming out to get the ball. He realises he isn't going to get it and he pulls away. Well, this guy goes running after the ball after he's just knocked it past Van Sass, hoping for him to get knocked over and realise that it's not happening. Go running towards the ball, probably takes about 4 or 5 steps, realises that he's not going to catch it, and falls to the floor asking for a penalty. Learn to dive better, my friend. Learn to dive better. Might have ended 5-1, but like I said, other than the goals, the play acting, the delayed reaction of I'm not going to get that, can I have a penalty, ref? And the pure stupidity of elbowing someone after he's fouled you. That was pretty much all there was to talk about, because like I said, Borges and Mabuda were brilliant in this game. In the second half, I mean, they were good in the first half, they were brilliant in the second. And they were the shining light in this game for us. Pretty much it, if I'm honest. I was expecting more with a 5-1 scoreline than what it turned out to be. I mean, City were the better team. City played better in the second half. But I think probably City had like 7 attempts, 5 of them at the net. Sevilla probably had 3 attempts, 1 of them at the net. There wasn't many decent attacks that didn't end in an attempt. It wasn't a great spectacle. And if you haven't watched the game and you want to see some things, you're probably better off just watching the extended highlights or the highlights. But anyway, I'm going to do a video of the first team's game against Sevilla. And then the next videos I do after that will be on Thursday. Both the under-19s and the first team games against Borussia Dortmund. Anyway, until then, adios amigos.